Khalaf al-Zahrāwī, the surgeon who shaped medical history. Dr. Saba al-Namas. His full name was Abu al-Qasim Khalaf ibn Abs al-Zahrāwī, a towering figure in the history of surgery and medicine, known in the Islamic world as al-Zahrāwī and in Europe as Abulcasis or al-Bucasis. He stands among the rare scholars whose legacy shaped both Eastern and Western medical traditions. Born in 325 AH, 937 CE, in the city of Alzar, near Córdoba in present-day Spain, he lived and worked during the scientific golden age of Al-Andalus. While he was widely recognized as a master surgeon in classical Islamic medicine, it was his methodical, evidence-based approach, far ahead of his time, that established him as a true pioneer. Education and scientific environment. Al-Zahrāwī was nurtured in the rich intellectual climate of Córdoba, which had developed into a major center for medicine, philosophy, astronomy, and the natural sciences. Historical sources indicate that he trained in hospitals associated with the Umayyads of Al-Andalus and later served as a court physician. At a time when surgery was often regarded as a marginal or even disreputable branch of medicine, he distinguished himself through a rigorous approach grounded in observation and practical experience. He rejected mere reliance on transmitted knowledge and treated the human body as a direct subject of scientific investigation, positioning himself not only as a practitioner but as one of the earliest architects of experimental medical thought. His works and influence. Al-Zahrāwī's magnum opus is Kitab al-Tarf liman Ajaza and al-Taf, one of the most comprehensive and influential medical encyclopedias in medieval history. Comprising 30 sections, the work covers a wide spectrum of disciplines, including internal medicine, surgery, pharmacy, dentistry, orthopedics, and obstetrics. Its final section, Fi Amal al-Yad on surgical practice, is particularly groundbreaking, as it is among the earliest medical texts to include detailed illustrations of surgical instruments and systematic explanations of their use. In this section, al-Zahrāwī describes more than 200 surgical instruments, many of which he designed himself, and explains their application in specific procedures. The originality and practical value of this part made it the most frequently translated section of the work. Its 12th century Latin translation by Gerard of Cremona, under the title Chirurgia Albucasis, facilitated its rapid diffusion throughout Europe and shaped the surgical traditions of medieval universities. During the Ottoman period, the physician Serafeddin Sabunkoglu translated the text into Turkish, marking a critical moment in the development of Ottoman medical thought. Over subsequent centuries, the work was translated into French, Hebrew, German, and English. Another significant work attributed to al-Zahrāwī is Azam al-Akr, a multilingual pharmacological dictionary listing the names, properties, and measurements of medicinal plants in Arabic, Greek, Berber, Latin, and Syriac. Although it has not yet been published in a critical edition, manuscript copies remain preserved in major libraries. Medical principles and methodology. Al-Zahrāwī firmly rejected the notion that surgery was a second-class discipline, instead defining it as a central and indispensable branch of medicine. He insisted that a competent surgeon must possess a deep knowledge of anatomy, diagnostic methods, and pharmacology, and must combine technical skill with wisdom and moral responsibility. He described the essential qualities of the ideal surgeon as calmness, patience, precision, compassion, and a consistent commitment to minimizing the patient's suffering. He also developed one of the earliest systematic surgical methodologies, addressing every stage of the operative process: preoperative preparation, execution, and postoperative care. His emphasis on accurate diagnosis, appropriate timing, instrument preparation, cauterization for disinfection, and careful wound management reflects principles that form the foundation of modern surgical logic. Through these innovations, he transformed surgical practice from a craft into a disciplined science. Among his most remarkable contributions was his early use of absorbable sutures made from animal intestines, catgut, a practice that remains a cornerstone of modern surgery. In pharmacy, his habit of providing multilingual equivalents for medicinal substances significantly reduced errors and advanced pharmaceutical precision in Al-Andalus. His multidimensional identity as clinician, surgeon, pharmacist, and botanist secured his enduring status in the history of medical science.
Al-Taf's legacy today.
More than a millennium after his death, al-Zahrāwī remains one of the most venerated figures in the history of medicine in the Islamic world. Hospitals in countries such as Morocco, Libya, and Iraq have been named in his honor. Although no modern surgical procedure bears his name directly, many foundational principles continue to reflect his intellectual legacy. Within the field of medical history, his work, Al-Tarf, remains an indispensable source for scholars studying the evolution of surgical techniques and medical instrumentation. His former house in Córdoba is preserved on today's Calle Albucasis, marked by a bronze plaque installed in 1977 stating that he once lived there. Similarly, a commemorative stamp issued by Syria in 1964 stands as a modern tribute to this pioneering figure of Islamic medical civilization.